choke him.
That's what happened with the pickles. You put it in my head. Once it's in the head. Welcome back to another episode of 1980s Now, a weekly examination of the importance of 1980s pop culture and its continued influence. I'm talking like Mario or something. And its continued influence today. My name is Will, and joining me, as always, are my friends, and they're also my co-hosts, Kat and John. Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
It's a me. Hi.
Hello.
You know, one of my coworkers told me I sound like Minnie Mouse on the podcast.
Huh.
Do I?
Were they listening at 1.5 speed or something?
That may be it.
I don't know what they were doing. Maybe that's it.
No, I don't think that. No.
You don't think I sound like Minnie Mouse?
No. I think you have a great voice for a podcast.
I agree.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I was thinking
And I have
today.
a great face for a podcast.
Yes, you do.
Hey, don't forget to listen to John's great face on his other podcast, Gen X Grown Up,
Listen to his great
where he
face.
sounds absolutely handsome. Hey, on today's show, we're going to be talking about the true but abridged tale of the cocaine bear. So you guys know this movie just came out, right? Elizabeth Banks directed it. Of course, we love Elizabeth Banks. If you see the trailers for this film, which probably the boys on Gen X Grown Up will review the film, I imagine, at some point.
I wonder.
Odds are.
It looks like Jaws in the forest. You know, the premise being this bear gets its hands on cocaine and goes berserk and terrorizes people.
Pause? Hands on cocaine? Pause on cocaine.
Oh, I thought you were saying
yeah.
pause.
Oh, yes. Instead of Jaws, it's pause.
What? Pause.
Pause, right.
Oh, yeah. John was less clever than we thought.
Yeah. I stumbled backwards into cleverness.
We'll do it again. Pause on cocaine. Then I just robbed John of the joke altogether.
Oh, no.
Fix it in the edit.
But look, I'll explain this to you guys before we get going on the true crime story. But it's abridged, and I'll explain that later.
Okay.
Hey, before that, though, we're going to review current news stories related to 1980s media, including Rob Halford has got the Rock Hall on speed dial. For sale, Goonies house, new roof, dead fish. And how we're one step closer to having Rubik's Snake, the movie.
Oh.
Time codes are in the show notes if you'd like to skip around. Hey, just like every week for the last couple of weeks, a quick announcement. Hey, keep an ear out for our upcoming interview with Dave Philpott. Who's that, you say? Well, he is
I do say that.
One of the genius folks behind Dear Mr. Kershaw.
All right.
A Pensioner Writes by Derek Philpott, who's Dave's dad. So the premise of this book is that this elderly retired gentleman writes letters to pop stars.
Oh.
And they write back. So, you know, among them, and included in this book, and he has a new book that just came out. And so among the many pop stars that he writes to are tons of our favorites from the 1980s. Yaz, you know I love Yaz. Kaja Gugu. Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics, Level 42. Human League. Thompson Twins. Yeah, folks wrote back. And it's funny because what this gentleman's doing is he takes their music literally.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And so he's got some concerns or questions as a result of the lyrics of their songs.
We've spoken about this before, and it's a captivating concept. That, you know, it's like, and some of them kind of are in on the joke, and some of them aren't. And of the ones that respond, I think you said like one of the artists kind of sort of halfway understood it and tried to respond in the joke, and probably others didn't at all get it.
I think I was telling you a story about he wrote to the Steve Miller Band.
Oh,
yes,
to see if he could hire them for a magic show.
Right.
I suppose because of their song Abracadabra. And hilarity ensues. Anyway, listen for that upcoming interview with Dave Philpott.
Lots of reaching out and grabbing.
What was that?
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
Reach
I'm
out.
with you,
Reach out
Kat.
and grab ya.
Grab
Yes.
Abracadabra.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, hey, let's get caught up on 1980s news. Let's really reach out and grab some news and pull some news close. Yes, I don't know. Hey, as told to Metal Hammer, Rob Halford calls the Rock Hall every day to vote for Iron Maiden.
I almost know what that's like.
Yeah, I thought you might be able to relate.
I didn't use a phone though.
Okay. Yeah.
What are you nominating yourself every day for, Kat?
Kat,
I might have been on my phone once a day last year to vote for the band that must not be named.
You did raise a question. I didn't look up. Is there really a way to phone call it anymore? You're right. You did it online, right?
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
website?
There was I went to the Rock Hall website and you can vote every day.
Sounds like someone clever with a VPN could throw those votes.
Yeah, and stuff like that's happened before
I'm sure.
and been found out.
Yeah.
People have been found out.
Yeah.
But in a very above board way, Rob Halford is actively supporting Iron Maiden's bid for the induction by voting every day on the fan vote. So, there's some mysterious committee that nominates a bunch of people, and then again, some other unknown group of people get to vote. But they do make it open to the fans by allowing for fans to vote for their favorites among the 14, I think, nominees.
Like United States elections.
Yeah, that we really don't directly vote, but
It's just
That's
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
if you recall, Halford was inducted last year with Judas Priest. And remains one of the many artists from the heavy music genre who feels Iron Maiden have more than earned their right to follow suit. Now, you hear that argument every year about any number of groups.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah.
But he told Metal Hammer, quote, Iron Maiden's nomination is absolutely overdue. I vote for them every day. You could do it by phone, and it's dead easy.
The phone thing that does.
Maybe it's not really a phone.
That's curious. Yeah. Like, I wonder if you can call. I guess he says he does.
You might just be bugging somebody at the gift shop.
Iron Maiden, sir. This is the valet desk.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's always so many people. I mean, you list some iconic bands, and there's always going to be like, why are they not in the hall yet? Why are they not in the hall yet? It's like actors, like they don't have a star. They don't have a star yet on the Walk of Fame.
Right. Yeah.
And ultimately, if everybody's special, nobody is. But
Yeah.
I don't say all of that to dismiss Iron Maiden. I think they absolutely probably are overdue. But you're right. Everybody can't get in every time, or it wouldn't be special.
Yeah.
Just like a Cat's actions helped Duran Duran change their position due to the fan vote, Maiden recently moved up to 5th place for the class of 2023.
All right.
The top 5 of the 14 nominated will receive a vote that counts alongside the hundreds of industry professionals who make up the majority of the decision-making panel. Again, that unknown, populace of folks. Fans, however, are able to cast their vote once a day, every day until April 28th.
All right.
All right. Hey, another 1980s news, as reported on today.com. And, speaking of true crimes, I mean, this one isn't as complicated as one we're going to talk about in a moment, but this is nearly as wacky. Coast Guard rescues man from capsizing yacht after he allegedly left a dead fish at the Goonies house. Netflix series to follow.
So random. I love it.
All right. So I read this article, and the whole way through the article, I'm like, what am I missing?
Exactly.
What's the significance? Look, again, not seeing the Goonies.
Again,
what's the
here we go.
significance of the dead fish? Is that a reference to the Goonies that I should know?
I couldn't think. We should tell John it is. He has to go watch it to figure it out.
I mean, was there a reason, or he just did it for the halibut? I mean, what's the rationale that
he
you
set
would
us up.
put a dead fish?
The whole thing was a setup. Brilliant. No, there's no significance.
Okay.
No.
So it's not like a Goonies reference. It's not like, a fish on your porch, like that old Goonies scene.
No.
Okay, I don't know.
But it also turns out this guy stole a boat. I mean, he did a number of things that have nothing to do with the film. That didn't happen in the film.
Okay.
So as reported by Today...
But he left the fish at the house.
Goonies
This
house.
suggests it was significant.
Yes.
What I think
Like
is,
my entire life has been building up to leaving a fish on the porch of this house.
he's working up the courage.
To the point that I will commit larceny and felony and grand theft boat in order to do it. And it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no. I mean, they don't...
That's
they don't,
ridiculous.
They don't explain, his motivations in this short piece here, or...
Are you okay, Kat? We broke Kat.
I will be, I'm sure, at some point.
I don't know. Maybe it was a warning to the homeowner. I don't know.
It's like the horse head in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Careful, you might wake up with a fish on the porch.
Imagine how the homeowners felt.
Oh, no.
They found us, honey. I don't know how.
Quick, get the fish broom.
Because it's happened so many other times before.
Of course. It's the Goonies thing. Everybody comes by.
All right.
It's like when you go to
the movie,
when you go to the Breaking Bad house and throw pizza on the roof.
Oh.
Same thing. You go to the Goonies house and throw fish on the porch.
It might become a thing now, yeah. I don't know. What I think is cool is you guys might have seen, before I read this story, I had seen the video of the rescue and I didn't know they were related. So
really,
it became a viral video, sometime shortly after this happened. There's a video of a U.S. Coast Guard boat rescuing. This is what you see in the video. You see the boat approaching another boat that I think, based on a caption we learned, was sending out a mayday signal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As the boat gets close enough, someone jumps off the boat and starts swimming towards the boat that's in danger. The Coast Guard, remember the Coast Guard.
All right.
As he's nearing the boat, you see an enormous tidal wave approaching.
Oh.
And you're just like, shit, these people are fucked.
Oh, no.
Just as he gets to the boat, the wave just completely covers the boat, the swimmer, everything. They're gone.
Wow.
As the wave subsides, the boat is now flipping upside down.
Oh my gosh.
And the swimmer reappears. And ultimately, he rescues this guy from the boat. So this is the video that we see. This went viral.
So that is a whole separate, wow.
So that video turns out to be this story.
Oh my gosh.
So that was the tail end of dropping off the fish.
Yeah.
He took off in this stolen boat. And
yeah, when the rescuers, saved this man, they had no idea he was accused of placing a dead fish at the Oregon house that was featured in the Goonies.
and is that illegal? Is there a law against fish placement?
Right, I think they do have crimes.
Yeah.
They have his crimes listed, yes.
A man later identified as Jericho.
Steal the boat, fine. Fish placement, not a crime.
Oh, you know what they have? It's called, and here, seriously, I think this, I'm guessing this is what it is.
Go.
Criminal mischief.
I think that's it too.
Right?
I think the fish, if the
criminal
fish.
What?
That, yes. Criminal mischief.
Sounds
Or
delicious.
misfish. Criminal misfish.
Mishfish.
Criminal fish and chips.
Criminal mishfish. You would think we were recording this at midnight. You guys are so loopy. Look, a man later identified as Jericho Labonte. I know what's happening now. You guys just don't want to do true crime. You're just stalling.
Oh, no.
Labonte
Okay,
or
I'll be quiet.
Labonte?
No, this is the true crime story I tuned in
Yeah,
for.
this is it. I should do the voice. 35 of Victoria, British Columbia was taken into custody on February 3rd after a number of people recognized him. The police started pursuing Labonte, I'll say, after receiving a report on February 1st that he posted a video on Facebook that showed him placing the dead fish on the porch.
Gotcha.
Of course, the home that we're talking about is the one featured in Steven Spielberg's 1985 film. But it wasn't until after the U.S. Coast Guard shared the video I'm telling you about showing this dramatic rescue, that authorities learned that the boat in the video had been stolen by that same man.
That's the guy. That's the criminal mischief guy. Get him.
So after he was rescued and a helicopter hoisted the two of them out of the water to safety, the officers later arrested him about 17 miles south of the Astoria.
I don't understand this story, but it's my favorite story.
I love it. I love this. I love this.
It's, you know what, John? You just got to take it for like it's literal, the literal words. Don't think into it. It's literally, it's all on the page.
I was looking for deeper meaning, and it turns out surface. Yeah.
Shout out to the brave rescuer who is identified as Aviation Survival Technician 3rd Class John Branch Walton.
Mm-hmm.
It was his first life saved as a rescue swimmer.
Wow.
And he graduated later that day from the Coast Guard's Advanced Helicopter Rescue School.
Later that day.
Later that same day.
In fact, what I remember from the viral video is one of the texts said that they were out on a, training. They were out on a training voyage or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
When this ship radioed for help and they had to shift gears. So this kid was being tested, in this training thing. He had a real opportunity.
You want me to what?
So they were going to take him out on his last day and Top Gun Maverick him in a cage underwater, but instead they pivoted and said, "Hey, tidal wave, jump in."
Yeah.
Right? So it was his final hazing.
They deducted points though, because they were like, you know what? You never mentioned anything about the dead fish.
The fish.
Did not recover
That's right.
the dead fish.
You have to be aware of your surroundings at all times.
It turns out, however, also that the home, the Goonies home, was recently sold to a Kansas City entrepreneur and superfan who bought it for $1.65 million. And the good news for Tom Higginson and his son and others is that this superfan intends to preserve the property as a place where the film's other fans can visit and take selfies.
And leave fish.
Drop off fish.
Inevitably,
Oh,
you're right,
happen.
John. That's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
prior owners were not as flexible as far as letting people take pictures of the home.
I'm just saying, if I ever visit, I'm taking a fish.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point,
yeah,
let's make it a thing. Come on.
I should have reached out to Tom to ask him about
We just need you to watch the movie first, John. Then we'll move on to the fish.
I'm going to watch the movie and the fish is going to be in there and you were lying to me. Is what's going to be.
Yeah. I really wish we could CGI a fish into the film now.
Watch this copy.
Yes. Every other copy is. This is the director's cut.
Director's cut.
There's bonus features in this one. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a fish pun with the word cut in it. This is the director's cuttlefish.
Yes.
Sure.
I can't wait for the news to end. Hey, in other 1980s news, the Tetris trailer is the perfect fit. I was thinking who already has said something about Tetris being a perfect fit. So I just Googled that. So I think of course it comes up as people talk. Anyway, have you guys watched the trailer for the film?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it looks intriguing. And I feel like, wow, they're making a video game, like the origin of a video game seems so thrilling. like a don't want to miss. But there's also this kind of tongue-in-cheek thing happening too. Like at the end there at the trailer. So I want to see it though. I am curious. I'll watch it.
Well, Kat, the origin of Tetris is this amazing thing.
Really?
It really is.
It really is?
There's from the trailer, there's very little embellishment.
Really?
And this from a guy who's already watched the Ecstasy of Order documentary and the Tetris Murders documentary series. I don't miss a single Tetris. Yeah, these are things.
Yeah.
And throughout those, you'll learn, because it was the Iron Curtain and nobody really owned anything in the USSR. And this guy that created it, he really didn't have the rights to sell it.
Wow.
The guys that used it didn't have the rights to use it. So it looks like an espionage film, and it was espionage. So I think that's the right approach to take with it. I think it looks cool.
I had no idea that it was all true. Wow.
Yeah.
John, in the Tetris murders, were people killed with a long skinny piece?
The L.
The hammer, right?
Just
Little hammer shape. Yeah.
All right, that would be better.
It has the hook on the end. Yeah.
Or just a big clunk.
Do you know the Tetris pieces each have names? Do you know that?
Oh.
I know that only because I have that light up Tetris puzzle thingy.
Oh.
Lamp thing that has the names on the box. I think that's where
You do?
Okay. There you go.
it's around here somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't remember what they are though. Fred,
Oh.
Douglas.
Winky, Blinky,
Doug,
Clyde.
Johnny.
What's his last name?
I don't know last name. Just has a letter. Doug R.
Oh, no.
Johnny F.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Cat got there. I've ruined this show.
Is that what this is? A show?
You guys were all so polite before I joined the show, and now look at us.
As John was alluding to, so while most video game adaptations are usually follow the storyline of the game, there is no story for Tetris. And thank goodness they didn't try to make one. Because I remember 5 years ago when they said they were making a Tetris movie, I thought it was going to be, like Pixels or something, where pieces were falling from the sky. And I don't know. I was so nervous about it. But yeah, thank goodness the actual story provides so much meat to it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like a docudrama, it looks like. Yeah. And it looks like they're taking it seriously. Like they're not poking fun, because real people were in real dire circumstances around the legality of that and danger from the government. Yeah, it's legit. Yeah.
Wow, I really want to see it now. I really didn't know.
Yeah. In fact, Matthew Vaughn, who produced it, who brought us films like Kick-Ass and Kingsman, initially didn't believe what sounded like a tall tale. He said, quote, "I was sent the screenplay. I didn't believe it. I was like, what moron came up with this idea?"
Oh.
Making a sort of political Cold War thriller about Tetris. And then I got told everything happened and it was real. So I went, okay, we better make this a movie then.
Gotta make a movie.
The simple but highly addictive game was created by a Soviet software engineer, Alexei Pajitnov, in 1984.
Wow.
Tetris,
In 84.
the movie, however, lands on Apple Plus TV on March 31st.
Or
That was, you guys, I'm turning the show around. Hey, our independent podcast is brought to you every week by folks just like you. So if you'd like to help us out, please Follow us on the podcast platform you're listening to right now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share an episode on Facebook. All of these actions just take a moment and are 100% free. But if you'd like to chuck in a buck and help us keep publishing the show week after week, please visit us at 1980snow.com/support to find out how you can send us $1 or $2. And thank you so much. It means a lot. All right, hey, as promised or threatened.
It's like someone left a fish on Will's porch.
Someone left me a fish, so I know I'm not supposed to do true crime, which means I'm getting close to the truth, and I have to do it. I'm going to tell you the true abridged story of the cocaine bear, who, is the subject of this film that I look forward to seeing. It just came out. It looks like a horror comedy, I guess, or comedy horror.
Absurdist comedy horror, at least. Yeah.
I mean, if you had told me the premise, I would have thought this is dumb. But I saw the trailer and I was like, oh my God, looks awesome.
I have to say, I didn't watch the trailer, but my son was watching it. Yeah. And he's so excited to see this movie.
I watched the trailer. I was just surprised Johnny Knoxville was not in it.
No?
Because it seems like a jackass trick. It's like, so we're going to feed this bear cocaine, and then we're going to goad him.
Before his heart explodes. We're going to try to bite somebody's balls off.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. Is this a show tonight? I don't know if this is a show, but we're gonna publish it.
Yes.
All right, so look, the story is complicated. I will share with you after we get through my abridged version, where I'm highlighting just some of the more interesting salient points among dozens of interesting salient points. But I'll tell you at the end, I cannot wait to hear what makes it complicated, because at the surface, it sounds super simple.
It does.
Bear eats cocaine, goes on rampage, the end.
Yeah.
So,
all right. All right. Hey, so let me see.
That's the show, everybody. Good night.
Right. There, John did it for me. Thanks. All right. Oh, and like usual, if you want to stop me, stop me.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Oh, don't worry. We will.
You haven't let me get a single word in this whole show.
It's gonna be.
When do you hear the news back?
It's gonna be.
Oh, we're going to stop you.
Yeah. All right. So that means I just have to try to get through this as quickly as possible. I'm not going to stop either. No one's going to stop. 3 people talking simultaneously.
November 1985. While trudging through the golden, fallen leaves of the Chattahoochee National Forest, a hunter came upon easy prey. Laying there before him, in a small clearing beneath a canopy of trees, was a sizable black bear. Though it was as still as death, it appeared alive, and so the hunter slowly raised his rifle, bringing the butt of the gun tight against his shoulder. But before he could squeeze the trigger, he made another, more startling discovery. Strewn about the body of the Ursus americanus lay several packages of a white substance, and nearby a large duffel bag. The bear was already dead, killed by a man who had left a string of deaths long before this yogi had dined on the deadly picnic basket.
Oh no, Yogi! Oh no!
I don't know that I could do this for a half hour.
With the background music, I can't help but seeing a Dream Kid short that says it's 1984 and your bear just ate cocaine.
Oh my gosh, dude, we have to ask him for
That's
that.
amazing.
Here we go.
With a name that sounds like cardigan-covered shoulders come to life. Andrew Carter Thornton III was born into Kentucky's Blue Blood Society. A child of privilege, Thornton forewent his family's esteemed horse farm for a seeming life of public service. After graduation from the prestigious Sewanee Military Academy in 1962, Thornton joined the United States Army. There, Thornton became a decorated paratrooper for the 82nd Airborne Division. Despite his extensive training, however, Thornton wasn't prepared for the jump that would end his life.
Oh, okay.
lot of jokes in this one.
Wait, did I miss something?
When will those start?
I'm just gonna. I was being sarcastic.
Okay.
You can't knock me if I'm being sarcastic. I burned myself.
Yeah.
You can't set something on fire if it's already burning. All right, whatever. Maybe we just skip this week.
No. Keep going.
This is all gold.
Longing to continue the adrenaline-fueled combat he had experienced, Thornton joined the Lexington Fayette Urban County Police Department in 1968, just a few years after his military career had ended. And as police work became routine, Thornton's thrill-seeking ambition landed him on the newly formed Narcotics Squad. Working closely with the DEA, Thornton's need for speed was sated, albeit briefly, as he slid over car hoods before racing off to another drug bust. But soon, Thornton found confiscating drugs wasn't nearly as exciting as selling them.
To bears.
To bears. Exclusive mammal clientele, catering to the most esteemed of bears.
Oh, Yogi.
Lifelong friends.
I'm just going to keep introducing new characters, and then the show, and it's never going to end the story.
It's like Stranger Things.
Lifelong friends. Bradley Bryant traveled in the same high-class circles as Thornton. The pair even attended the military academy together. So, in 1977, when Bryant formed a private security company, it was only natural for Bryant to court Thornton away from the police department. Jimmy Chagra, one of their first clients, however, seemed to need little protection. When this leader of a large drug-running syndicate was scheduled to appear before a U.S. district judge he couldn't bribe, he had him murdered.
Oh boy.
The hitman, Charles Harrelson, father of beloved Cheers actor Woody.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
His father is a murderer, convicted murderer.
Wow. Never knew that. Today years old. Wow. Okay. Huh.
God damn, I'm not even off the first page.
September 1979. The China Lake Naval Weapons Center, an installation that conducts highly classified research in the barren reaches of the Mojave Desert, had been robbed. Sophisticated and some deadly military equipment, including infrared night scopes, had been stolen. Already fearing the extensive illegal exporting of arms from the United States, federal authorities were on high alert. On January 4th, 1980, while the disappearance of the equipment was under investigation on the West Coast, the Philadelphia police responded to what they believed was a routine call. A maid at an airport hotel had smelled marijuana emanating from one particular room. Once inside, however, drugs were the least interesting item the officers uncovered.
What?
There was also a bear inside. It turns out the story is just about a bunch of dead bears.
Oh
Hope you don't like bears.
Ursinus. What was that? Ursinus americanus?
I probably
No,
said
not
it wrong.
ursinus. That's
what
his
I have.
condition is ursinus
Ursinus.
majoris.
Yeah, that's what I have in my
Will has
CAT scan showed.
Ursinus.
You're thinking Ursus.
Did you just knew that off the top of your head, John? Probably, right? You just know that off. You just know that because you know that.
What's that?
That
What?
it's Ursus americanus.
I've heard it before. It's
Yeah,
the root
see.
word, like like
Yeah, that's crazy.
like lupus and canis and things like that. Yeah, it's scientific names, right?
Yeah. No, see, I read it and I wasn't sure Cat was wrong. So that's what's pointing.
I don't know what I just did there, really.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not sinus.
Yeah.
Will has a bear. Sinuses.
Well, he's snorting cocaine, so he's probably got some sinus issues in his system.
Yes.
While some may pack pajamas, clean underwear, and a toothbrush while traveling, Bradley Bryant was prepared for something else when police arrested him in his room at a Philadelphia airport hotel.
Oh, boy.
In addition to his skivvies, Bryant was carrying a cache of semi-automatic weapons, an assortment of disguises, more than 10 fraudulent Kentucky driver's licenses, and $22,000 in cash. When Bryant's arrest led to the additional search of a warehouse he rented in Lexington, officers found an arsenal of weapons, various electronic surveillance devices, and an infrared night scope.
Which I said was one of the things stolen, right? Did I say that?
Yes. Yes, you did.
I don't remember.
No, you did.
And a bear.
Also among Bryant's items was a notebook that contained the names and addresses of 24 men, including one Lexington resident, Andrew Carter Thornton III.
Oh, the cardigan wearer, right?
The living embodiment of a cardigan draped over shoulders. Exhausting.
Within days of Bryant's arrest, several federal agencies joined the investigation. And a few months later, 25 individuals were indicted in Fresno, California, charged with conspiracy to import and distribute marijuana and to steal government property from the China Lake Naval Base Weapons Center. Although Thornton was named in that indictment, he was not charged. Instead, amid hints that a larger drug smuggling conspiracy existed, Thornton was charged with piloting a DC-4 loaded with a literal half-ton of ganja.
Oh, wow.
Sensing justice was coming for him, Thornton did what any decorated Army veteran soldier and former narcotics officer would do. He fled.
Oh, man.
That's when he met a bear.
And then...
I mean, somehow it's all leading to a bear, right?
Leading to the bear. I'm waiting for the bear.
I'm ready for the bear. I wondered if he stole the bear from the military base, or if the bear was, or the bear was one of the pieces of equipment he had packed with his skivvies.
Yeah. They indicted 25 individuals and one bear.
A quote-unquote prepper, Thornton had been practicing for the apocalypse for years.
He's a preppy prepper.
That's brilliant.
Perfect.
Yes.
Oh, you just won the podcast.
The first preppy prepper, Thornton had been practicing for the apocalypse for years.
He just stole your joke.
Now,
That's okay.
I'll just edit Kat's part out.
Now, with his world actually coming to an end, Thornton donned a bulletproof vest, grabbed a pistol, and eluded capture for several months. But when U.S. Customs discovered the 56-foot...
The what?
The 56-foot converted bear.
Just put bear when anything sees... Put bear. This is like an ad lib.
A 50-foot bear.
But when U.S. Customs discovered the 56-foot converted minesweeper they had seized off the coast of Louisiana carried 1,500 pounds of marijuana and a machine gun belonging to Thornton, the search for the fugitive intensified. After Thornton was finally apprehended, the U.S. Marshals transported him to Fresno for his arraignment, where he posted $75,000 in cash and a $1 million personal surety bond, secured by possibly the only remaining connection Thornton had to his prior life as a Kentucky aristocrat: 3 racehorses.
I was going to say a bear.
And Woody Harrelson.
And a seat at a live taping of Cheers.
There you go.
And we haven't gotten to the cocaine yet, but it did occur to me that if this had been Marijuana Bear, no murders would have taken place.
No, it would have been really just.
It'd have been a super chill bear, just kind of laying on the picnic table.
Yeah.
Dude, my paws are awesome.
Yeah. I'm a bear? Am I a bear?
With the munchies.
Hey, boo-boo, I'm getting the munchies. Maybe that's why he's always looking for a picnic basket.
A picnic basket.
Is that Yogi or are you the honeymooners? What are you doing?
It's one of the same, isn't it? Like, hey, boo-boo,
one of these days, boo-boo, right to the moon.
Oh, Yogi, you're always looking to get high.
He cleared his sinuses again.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, boo-boo, let me do a rail off your junk.
On February 27, 1982.
I think Will broke John.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Look at him. I'm getting the image. I have the image in my head.
Yes, you did. You broke him.
That's what happened with the pickles. You put it in my head. Once it's in the head, when your brain draws it.
Oh, I'm seeing stars. I can't even.
I've never seen John have the giggles so much. Oh my God.
Don't remind him.
No, go ahead. I'll catch up.
No, we got a ways to go here.
On February 27th, 1982, just 3 days before Thornton was scheduled to appear.
Is it coming back? We thought we were in the clear.
No, I'm good.
All right, we're going to do this. We're going to do it.
He's got a little vial.
Keep still. You keep moving.
Impressive, boo-boo. It's taking the whole vial.
Oh my God.
Let's just end the show.
On February 27th, 1982, just 3 days before Thornton was scheduled to appear at a hearing in Fresno, it appeared vigilante justice was served just after Thornton's dinner. As he left a restaurant, Thornton was shot twice in the chest at close range. But the .38 caliber wad cutter bullets didn't penetrate the bulletproof vest Thornton wore as often as socks.
Well, he's prepared.
But it wasn't good fortune that kept Thornton alive, for the police quickly determined the mastermind behind the apparent attempted murder. It was Thornton himself. The attack had been staged by Thornton to persuade the judge that his life would be endangered should he be incarcerated.
So this guy's really brave, drug dealer.
Yeah.
Was in war, was in a battle in the Dominican Republic, seen action, was known, was, referred to by police and other folks as being a killer. Was scared to go to jail. Would fake his own death to avoid going to jail.
Wow.
Well, not his death, his own attack, his own murder attempt.
Yes.
Attempt. Okay. Mm-hmm.
He'd fake his own murder so he could avoid going to jail. Could say, if you put me in jail, I'm going to get killed. Which is funny because he was in danger on the street, though.
Right.
The judge could say, you'd be safer in a jail cell. They don't have guns
Than on the
there.
street. Yes.
But no bears in jail.
Maybe. We don't know yet. We don't know how he met the bear.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's coming.
Ultimately, Thornton pleaded no contest to marijuana conspiracy charges. And while Bryant had already begun serving a 15-year sentence, Thornton received what was effectively a slap on the wrist. 6 months at a minimum security facility and a $500 fine.
That's it?
Yeah. Kind of. Guy was, he was caught flying a plane with 1,000 pounds of marijuana, and that's what he got him.
Marijuana.
But the convictions of his co-conspirators did more to damage Thornton than jail time. Already quite paranoid, Thornton shrunk his circle of trust to himself and just one man, his karate instructor turned bodyguard, Bill Leonard.
Huh.
And
Not a bear.
A bear.
Named Bill Leonard.
Bear. Bill Leonard, a bear disguised as a human.
Following his release from prison, Thornton divorced himself from the crime ring he had helped to create and decided to resume his drug smuggling operations alone. But there was still a matter of some loose ends, or rather, noose ends, that needed to be tightened.
Wait, was there a joke there I missed? Wait, what?
I said,
Loose.
but there was still a matter of some loose ends, or rather, noose ends, that needed to be tightened.
Noose.
Na noose.
I missed the noose.
Na noose. For 3 years, authorities sought Thornton for questioning regarding what they described as vendetta deaths. A series of otherwise unrelated murder victims were connected by Thornton's enterprises. Gene Berry, the Florida state's attorney who had successfully prosecuted one of Thornton's co-defendants, was murdered at point-blank range. Robert S. Walker, a witness against Thornton in the case, was found strangled in a swamp in Tampa. The man who had informed customs of Thornton's involvement with the Louisiana smuggling wrestle had his throat slit in Miami. The lesson, never go to Florida.
I get excited. I heard Gene Berry and I almost thought we got to the bear.
Gene Berry.
Oh.
G-A-N-R-Y.
Oh, okay, I got you.
On September, all right, we're nearing the end here finally, guys.
On September 9th, 1985,
right?
Thornton began what would be his final fateful.
Hey, boo-boo.
Hey. Boo Boo doesn't have pants on, right? They don't wear pants. His face comes up, it's just white powder on that big nose.
Oh, no. There's a t-shirt here somewhere, I think.
Yeah. Let me do a rail off your junk. Boo Boo, let me do a
Don't
rail
do
off your junk as a t-shirt.
Higher than the average bear.
Higher, yes. Let's see, where are we here?
Oh, I don't know.
On September 9th, 1985, Thornton began what would be his final fateful journey. Having invited Leonard to vacation with him in the Bahamas, the pair boarded a Cessna 404.
The bear?
The pair.
Pear. It was a pear.
Find the bear. I mean, this is really a game of find the bear.
Now boarding.
No, we didn't call your row yet. Sorry. We didn't call your row yet. It's true. So it'll be a better show next week, guys. Dear listener.
I can't imagine how.
Better than this.
What was I going to do? A bear. I got to look for the word. I mean, pear.
Pear.
Okay.
Thornton began blah, blah, blah. Having invited Leonard to vacation with him in the Bahamas, the pair boarded a Cessna 404. An accomplished pilot, Thornton steered the craft through the darkness and the rain and flew completely over the Bahamas. It was then that Thornton revealed the true nature of their trip.
Oh.
Instead of snorkeling and sunbathing on the Caribbean island.
Oh.
Leonard was to help Thornton do something even more thrilling. Retrieve 400 kilograms of cocaine from a drug cartel in Colombia.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Instead of snorkeling,
just regular snorting.
Once the plane safely landed in a swamp in Monteria, it was quickly surrounded by machine guns. Sentient weapons evolving on an island cut off from other areas of the world, run entirely by bears. All right, the plane lands in a swamp. It was quickly surrounded by machine gun toting men, while Leonard ate what he later learned was a parrot.
Oh.
He watched Thornton load their transport.
Did you say it was a parent or it was a parrot?
Parrot.
Parrot.
Okay.
Like Fred and Beretta.
Okay. Gotcha.
While Leonard ate what he later learned was a parrot, he watched Thornton load their transport. The illegal, addictive white powder.
Why was anyone eating a parrot? When did this come up? What are you doing? Load and blow? I'm going to eat a parrot.
Maybe he was already high. I mean, do you just grab something, whatever's closest and eat it?
Dude, I had a dream I was eating a parrot.
I've got news.
That happened.
Yeah, feathers come out. Yeah.
Talk about sinus problems.
That's the most random thing to do rather than help your friend. I can't help you load. Sorry. I've got to eat this parrot. I'm really busy.
Well, you'll learn why. Yeah, you'll see.
It just came out of left field. It's wonderful.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Yeah, I see. Okay, here we go.
The illegal, addictive white powder was wrapped in yellow plastic bricks, packed into burlap, and then stuffed inside large duffel bags outfitted with parachutes. The value of their cargo on the return flight had increased by $80 million, and one likely undercooked parrot.
Bro, Polly want to live. Polly want to live.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke. This seriously. He gets food poisoning. It plays a role in the story.
Oh.
Yeah.
From the parrot?
Oh, so this is important.
Everything. There's nothing extraneous
important.
about this. Everything in it I put in there for a purpose.
It's especially the boo-boo joke.
Yes, that's fact.
That was.
I could send you the episode.
As undigested parrot rose in Leonard's throat, so did Leonard's ire.
Oh.
Angry.
Whew, this parrot ain't sitting right.
Wait, you ate the parrot? That was the dude's pet?
Do you think I was going to help you load cocaine? Of course
You'll do anything to get out of work.
Beak it all, whatever it takes.
Beak it all, yeah. That's how lazy he is. He needs a fucking parrot. Doesn't want to carry himself back. He's like, Bill, get your ass over here. He's like, he just grabs him.
No, I gotta eat this raw parrot.
I'm sorry, buddy.
You're doing great. You're almost done.
Come on, finish off that claw. Get over here. There's no meat on the claws, dude. All right.
Angry.
I don't think I could do it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
We're with you. Home stretch. Home stretch.
Angry
Eat a parrot.
over the betrayal and teeming with salmonella.
Oh.
Leonard threw open the plane's door somewhere over Florida.
Oh.
And
It's always Florida.
I feel seen.
after returning the bird's remains to the skies,
Be free.
Leonard
The sky.
Leonard kicked out 3 duffel bags of cocaine. Suddenly, the parrot wasn't the only thing to disagree with Leonard.
On purpose, did he kick him out? Or
Yeah.
it
was
just
mad.
happened?
Oh.
Like he
He's
tripped
mad-
over them when he was
mad at his
hurling
friend.
bird.
He's mad his
Okay.
friend lied to him about the trip and all that.
Okay, yeah. Here's what I think of your cocaine.
The 2 men began to fight.
Oh.
Their confrontation, however, was quickly interrupted by radio chatter. A Black Hawk helicopter and 2 DEA jets had spotted Thornton's Cessna as it crossed into U.S. airspace. But Thornton had a plan.
The parrot had a tracking chip in it.
You didn't eat that parrot, did you? Beep, beep. Beep, beep.
God, it was
What is that
chipped.
sound? Beep, beep. You didn't eat a parrot. The parrot was beeping when I ate
The
it.
bear doesn't even matter anymore. It's all about the parrot now.
It was a lot of parrot talk.
Under the dim light of the cockpit, against the darkness of the sky, Thornton strapped a parachute to himself. And during the roughly 4 minutes it took Thornton to strap another chute on Leonard,
Oh.
Thornton gave Leonard what would be his only skydiving lesson.
So, but they were just fighting. So now he's going to try to help him.
They got to get their shit together, yeah.
Okay.
And actually, Bill Leonard tells the story because he survived.
Oh.
That the fighting turned into laughter, and they laughed over the circumstances. And Thornton apologized to him for getting him in this mess and said, "I'll get you out of it."
Oh, wow. In 4 minutes? That all happened in 4 minutes.
Well, the 4 minutes began after they got their shit together and they realized they had to
Okay.
do something. They had to jump from the
Okay.
plane.
All right.
After shoving 3 more duffel bags from the plane, Thornton strapped the remaining parcel to his person while barking instructions at Leonard. The pair would rendezvous at a hotel in Knoxville. With a plane on autopilot, the men jumped.
All right.
All right, last page.
September 11th, 1985. Fred Myers was finishing his morning shave when he spied what appeared to be a man laying amidst debris in his driveway.
Oh.
Upon closer inspection, it was clear the crumpled person was dead. A trickle of dried blood ran from his mouth. Thornton had indeed landed in Knoxville, but not as he intended.
He's the one who knew how to parachute, right?
Yeah, he was an expert.
Oh, boy. Oh.
He was a proud expert. He didn't let anybody pack his chutes. He was very, fastidious about his.
Yep.
Wow.
Lifeless, Thornton was surrounded by the very things that had defined his life. He was wearing a bulletproof vest and special night vision goggles. He was carrying a Browning 9mm automatic pistol, a .22 caliber pistol, and several clips of ammunition. He also had survival gear, a stiletto, and $4,500 in cash, and 6 gold Krugerrands, food rations, and vitamins.
He was so prepared.
A compass, an altimeter, identification papers in 2 different names, and a membership to the Miami Jockey Club. and a duffel bag filled with 77 pounds of cocaine. Police couldn't be sure why his parachute had failed him.
I get it now. I'm like, what a detailed list we're getting. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So probably what happened is he calculated everything because he knew the weight, etc. At the last minute, he straps on this bag of cocaine that he had not planned to jump with. So 77 more pounds.
That's like almost a person. Yeah.
So he had 2 chutes. You have a first chute and then you have a backup chute.
Yeah.
His backup chute was attached, but it didn't stop him from falling or dying.
Yeah.
His primary chute was found detached, and I think I want to say 60 miles, but maybe that was the plane. 60 miles, several miles from where he was.
Wow. Okay. Too much stuff.
As the investigation continued, pieces of the mysterious puzzle began to come together. A crashed Cessna 404 was soon found nearby with no signs of fatalities and a number matching that on a key found among Thornton's things. Police ruled the death an accident. The cause, gravity. But the tale of the aviator was yet unknown. As the story became clearer, more duffel bags of cocaine were found in northern Georgia, but not before a particular black bear stumbled upon one errant container.
Bear!
There's the bear. We got there.
Yes. It just snuck up on us.
And for the sequel, see Cocaine Bear now in theaters.
That bear just snuck up on us. He lulled us.
2 more paragraphs here.
Okay.
It could be so much longer. There's so much crazy shit I cut out.
More crazy.
And it goes on even after this, but
When authorities finally discovered the bear's body on December 20th, they also found 40 empty bags of cocaine.
Empty?
While the chief medical examiner who autopsied the animal found its stomach was, quote, literally packed to the brim with cocaine, end quote. Law enforcement wasn't certain whether the bear had consumed 75 pounds of the drug or some enterprising local had taken it. But the examiner was confident that after absorbing 4 grams of the substance, the bear had cerebral hemorrhaging, respiratory failure, hypothermia, renal failure, heart failure, stroke, and died shortly thereafter. The bear murdered no one.
But other than that, he was fine.
that wasn't the last mystery Cocaine Bear would be involved in. After getting his pilot's license, he continued the drug smuggling operation. He married Bill Leonard. Okay,
Oh no.
This has been the true tale of Pablo Escobar.
But here's what happens after. The bear, again, it looks so great, even though it was dead for a few months. He has a friend taxidermy it.
Okay.
First, then it's gifted to this Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area.
Yeah.
But at some point, there's a forest fire that threatens to, consume possibly this recreation area. So they take everything that's valuable from this spot, including some, I think, Native American artifacts and the bear, and they move it to a storage facility. When they finally go back to get the stuff from the storage facility, I think like a month or so later, it's been stolen, or it's gone.
Oh my gosh.
It's presumably stolen.
The bear was
that along with some of the other things.
stolen.
And the bear turns up at a pawn shop. The owner of the pawn shop, bought it from somebody. And when he gets his eyes on it, there's 2 different tales. The pawn shop owner says he wasn't familiar with the Cocaine Bear story.
Okay.
But some other tales say that he was, because he calls a friend of his who he thinks would most appreciate having this bear knowing the story, country singer Waylon Jennings.
Waylon Jennings. Oh my God.
So according to Waylon Jennings, he was familiar with the Cocaine Bear story. It was very well known in the 1980s about this, about Thornton and everything, because it's a real huge tale, much more encompassing and going all the way up to the governor's mansion in Kentucky, involving a bunch of corrupt DEA agents.
Wow.
It's there's a possible connection for that heist at the China Lake Naval Facility to Oliver North and the guns, the Contra affair.
Yeah. Wow.
Libyans, Russians, all this. These guys at some point said they were working for secret ops for the CIA, that they were selling drugs to make money to fund these different covert operations. A lot of crazy shit. But Waylon Jennings buys this and he gives it to a friend of his who he thinks would appreciate the story and having the bear. And this is a guy who has it in his place in Las Vegas. When this guy dies, they have an estate sale for his stuff, and a gentleman buys it for $200 uncontested. Nobody else bids for it. At this point, this guy who buys it doesn't even know the story.
Oh.
He just thinks he's buying a cool
He's bought a bear.
bear. Yeah. Apparently, he's a guy who would just go to different estate sales and buy interesting things. He brought it home, and his wife said, "Oh, hell no, we're not having a bear in our house." So he set it up in his herbal remedy store that he had,
okay.
where it remained until he died.
Okay.
After he died, his wife apparently sold a bunch of his things, or otherwise got rid of it, except for the bear was one of the things she kept, even though she hated it. There is a so when this place in Kentucky called the Kentucky for Kentucky Fun Center found out about the cocaine bear store. You know about the cocaine bear store already, but they had heard this rumor about Waylon Jennings and everything. They spent 2 months tracking down the bear. So the story I just told you, I learned from that. When they finally found the woman who had the bear because her husband had died and all that, they offered to buy it for her, and she said, "You can have it for free. Just pay for shipping." So it now resides. The cocaine bear resides in the Kentucky for Kentucky Fun Center and has lived there since 2015.
Oh my gosh.
I was really hopeful you were going to tell me that when it was in the herbal remedy store that people would pet the bear and get a contact high. That would have been a great story. Oh, I love petting this bear. Oh, this bear is awesome.
You're sniffing its stomach. Right through the fur. There's just like a white powdery substance on the fur.
It's just wicking cocaine through its pores.
So, John, I'm sorry if you're disappointed. If you didn't know, or Kat, I know John was saying things that made me realize that he may not have known that the bear didn't actually go crazy and kill people. Its heart exploded basically after it ate the cocaine and died.
Wow.
That's a shame.
So the movie is taking some license.
Yeah, there's a really cool book by Sally Denton, a journalist who dug way into this and makes a lot of connections that I alluded to a moment ago, called The Bluegrass Conspiracies. I think there may have been some TV shows, et cetera, that also address it. It only occurred to me after I put this together, I should have reached out to Brad and asked him about it, John.
Oh, yeah, in his region. That's right.
Brad's in Kentucky, and he was a journalist.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I hope in the movie the bear eats a parrot. That would be a great little call.
That's a deep cut for the true fans.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's for you, 1980s Now listeners. Wink.
Yes, there you go. All right. Hey, I'm going to say legally that was our show.
Which is brought to you every week.
That was our show?
Not exactly like that, but thanks in part to our early adopters like Kathy Burke, Rick Parker, and Karen Flieger. And thank you especially to our Secret of Our Success Level Patreon supporters like John Henderson, Craig Coletta, Marcus Taylor, and Tony Great, and maybe you.
Great.
Yes, there you go. There's the great. And maybe you, listener.
Yeah, hey, and there's plenty of ways to support the show, including just going on Facebook and making a comment. Or you can email me at will@1980snow.com or Kat at 1980snow.com. You can email John, but he won't write back to you every day. So don't bother emailing him. All right, hey, next time we meet, it'll be a lot less true crime. When we talk to you next time on 1980s Now.
Until next time.
Goodbye.
This podcast is part of the 80s Ruled Network. Visit the 80s Ruled on Facebook for more 1980s awesomeness.